Love doesn't always announce itself with grand gestures or poetic words. Sometimes it begins quietly, through glances that linger, laughter that feels too easy, and moments that seem ordinary but somehow mean everything. When a man starts falling for you silently, the signs are rarely obvious. He doesn't confess it right away, not because his feelings aren't strong, but because they're deep. Too deep to rush. He's trying to understand what he feels, to protect it, to make sense of why being near you feels both thrilling and calm at the same time. Psychologists say that when we develop strong emotional attraction, our subconscious takes over before our conscious mind catches up. The body reacts first. The tone of voice changes, posture softens, and attention sharpens toward the person who stirs something inside us. Love, especially in its early, unspoken form, is as much a psychological experience as it is an emotional one. It's an invisible current that alters behavior, language, and even biology. Dopamine spikes when you're near, oxytocin rises when you smile, and serotonin drops just enough to make him think about you a little too often. For a man who feels this way, silence isn't emptiness, it's protection. He's guarding a feeling that feels too precious to expose too soon. Maybe he's unsure if you feel the same. Or maybe he's afraid of losing what already exists between you. So instead of words, he communicates through actions, through the way his eyes find you in a crowded room, the way he listens intently when you speak, or how he remembers details you mentioned weeks ago. His love language isn't spoken. It's shown. This kind of quiet affection is what psychologists refer to as behavioral leakage, when emotions escape through small, involuntary actions. He may laugh a little too easily around you, stand a little too close, or act protectively without realizing why. These moments might seem random, but they form a pattern, a tapestry of quiet devotion that only someone paying close attention can see. What makes this stage of love so powerful is its purity. There are no expectations, no labels, just genuine emotion revealing itself in whispers instead of shouts. It's love in its most human form, vulnerable, cautious, but deeply real. And for many, it's the most beautiful stage of all, because it's when hearts begin to recognize each other before the mind dares to speak. In this exploration of 12 secret things men do when they're falling for you silently, we'll uncover the subtle, psychological and emotional cues that reveal what he's too afraid or too shy to say aloud. From the way he looks at you to the ways he protects, supports, and listens, each sign tells a piece of his unspoken truth. Because love doesn't always start with words. Sometimes it starts with silence that feels louder than anything else. His eyes search for you in every room. When a man is falling for you silently, one of the first things that gives him away is his eyes. He might not say much, but his gaze does. Whenever you walk into a room, his eyes instinctively search for you, even before he realizes it himself. It's not something he plans. It's a reflex born out of emotional connection. The human brain releases dopamine when we see someone we're drawn to, and for him, your presence lights up that reward center every single time. His eyes scanning for you is his subconscious way of finding comfort and excitement all at once. You may notice it in subtle moments. He's talking to someone else, but his attention flickers your way. When you laugh from across the room, he turns almost immediately. If you leave, his eyes unconsciously follow, and when you return, there's that fleeting look of relief. Tiny signs that his emotions are quietly attached to your presence. Even if he's trying to play it cool, his eyes betray him every time. That brief sparkle, the soft focus, or the way his pupils dilate slightly when you make eye contact. These are all physiological signs of attraction. Psychologists explain that eye contact creates emotional resonance. When two people share a moment of genuine eye connection, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, is released. For him, that eye contact becomes an invisible conversation. It's the safest way to express what words can't. He might glance at you when you're not looking, or look away quickly when you catch him. Both are indicators of a heart that's trying to stay composed while feeling something intense. His gaze becomes both his hiding place and his confession. Over time, you'll start to sense it too. You'll feel that pull even when he's quiet. It's in the warmth of his glance, in the way he notices the smallest details about you. The color you're wearing, the expression on your face, the way you move. That's not casual observation. That's admiration wrapped in restraint. When a man's eyes search for you in every room, it means your presence has become his comfort zone, his focus, and perhaps his silent wish. Words might fail him, but his eyes tell the truth. His lips are not ready to speak. He remembers the little things you say. When a man is falling for you silently, one of the clearest yet most overlooked signs is how he remembers the little things you say. Not just the big confessions or serious talks, but the smallest, most random details you probably forgot you even mentioned. You might have casually told him your favorite coffee order, a childhood memory, or how you can't sleep without listening to rain sounds. Weeks later, he brings you that exact drink, references that memory, or sends you a link to a rain playlist. It's not coincidence, it's care. When someone truly likes you, their mind naturally prioritizes information about you. Psychologists call this selective attention, where the brain filters what matters most. For him, that's you. Every word you say becomes a thread he quietly collects, weaving it into how he connects with you. Remembering small things is his subconscious way of showing he's paying attention, not because he has to, but because he genuinely wants to. This behavior also stems from emotional investment. When he values you, your happiness, and your world, he notices patterns others overlook. You mention a stressful meeting, and later he asks how it went. You tell him about your favorite book, and next time he quotes a line from it. Those gestures may seem minor, but they're powerful psychological cues that reveal emotional intimacy. They show he listens not to reply, but to understand. Men who are secretly falling for someone often express their feelings through actions rather than words. By remembering your details, he's saying, "I see you. You matter to me." This kind of attention isn't forced, it's instinctive. Even if he never says the words out loud, his memory becomes his language of affection. In a world where most people forget conversations by the next day, the man who remembers your offhand stories, favorite snacks, or how you felt last week isn't doing it for show. He's emotionally anchored to you. So when you notice he brings up something you said long ago, understand this. It's not just memory. It's connection. It's love expressed in the quiet, thoughtful corners of everyday life. His body language softens around you. When a man is secretly falling for you, his body often tells the story before his words ever do. You'll notice it in the subtle ways he physically responds when you're around. His posture relaxes, his tone softens, and his movements become slower, gentler, more intentional. It's not something he plans or controls. It's his subconscious adjusting to the emotional comfort your presence brings. Psychologists call this nonverbal synchronization. When two people share emotional chemistry, their bodies naturally mirror each other's energy and rhythm without realizing it. You might notice he leans slightly toward you during conversations, even when there's space. His shoulders angle in your direction, his feet point toward you, or he unconsciously mirrors your gestures. These small shifts signal openness and connection. When someone feels at ease and emotionally drawn to another person, the body instinctively creates alignment. It's the physical version of saying, "I'm here with you." There's also a softness in his face that wasn't there before. His expressions become warmer, his eyes linger longer, and his smile seems unforced. Even his voice might drop slightly in pitch when he speaks to you, an unconscious change that often happens when people talk to someone they deeply care about. Science explains that this happens because being around someone we're emotionally attached to releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone which naturally calms anxiety and softens our demeanor. Another giveaway is how he handles proximity. He may find reasons to stand or sit close to you, yet it never feels intrusive. His presence feels protective, not possessive. If you touch his arm or brush past him, he might freeze for a split second, his breath catching, eyes searching for composure. It's the body's honest reaction to emotional excitement. When his body language softens around you, it means his guard is coming down. He's allowing himself to be vulnerable without even realizing it. That calm posture, that easy smile, that subtle lean, all of it speaks the same truth. You make him feel safe. And safety is the foundation of real affection. He may not confess his feelings yet, but his body already has. It's showing you the quiet tenderness that words haven't caught up to. 4. He finds excuses to be near you. When a man is quietly falling for you, one of the most telling signs is how he always seems to find reasons to be near you. It's rarely obvious, he won't announce his intentions, but somehow he's always around. Maybe he appears right when you need help carrying something, or he happens to show up where you usually go. These moments may look coincidental, but they're not. His presence is deliberate even if he pretends it's casual. Psychologists call this proximity seeking, a subconscious behavior where someone in love tries to stay physically close to the person they're emotionally drawn to. You might notice he joins group settings when he knows you'll be there, or volunteers for tasks that bring him into your orbit. When you talk, he leans in slightly, and if someone interrupts, he finds a way to steer the focus back toward you. Even small gestures like sitting near you in a meeting, walking beside you, or standing close enough that your shoulders almost touch are silent signals of attachment. He doesn't need to say, "I want to be with you." His actions already whisper it. Being near you gives him a sense of comfort and connection. Psychologically, your presence triggers the release of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, which creates a subtle sense of reward. That's why he feels drawn to your energy again and again, even without understanding why. Sometimes he may disguise it behind excuses, asking for your opinion, offering help, or making casual small talk. But the motive beneath is simple. He wants to feel close to you. And it's not just about physical distance. He also creates emotional nearness by keeping conversations going, remembering your schedule, or texting you just to check in. His goal is to stay within your world, to be part of your daily rhythm. It's his way of silently saying, "I feel better when you're near." When a man finds excuses to be around you, it's rarely about convenience. It's about connection. He's not trying to invade your space. He's trying to find his place in it. His presence isn't random. It's his heart quietly reaching out, hoping you'll notice that being near you already feels like home. He listens more than he talks. When a man is truly falling for you but hasn't said it out loud, you'll notice something subtle yet powerful. He listens more than he talks. In a world where most people wait for their turn to speak, he's different. He's present. His attention isn't just polite. It's genuine. When you talk, he's fully there. Eyes steady, phone forgotten, his body slightly leaned in as if every word you say holds weight. That's not casual interest. That's emotional investment wrapped in silence. Psychologists call this active listening, a behavior common when someone feels emotionally connected. It's the kind of attention that doesn't just hear your words, but absorbs your feelings behind them. He remembers the tone you used, the emotions you tried to hide, and even the things you didn't say. When he's falling for you, your voice becomes familiar comfort, something his mind tunes into naturally. He listens not to respond, but to understand. You might notice he recalls small things you mentioned days or weeks ago. He asks follow-up questions about something you thought he'd forgotten. When you're upset, he doesn't rush to fix it. He gives you space to talk it out, nodding quietly, offering warmth without interruption. That patience is a mark of deep affection. It shows he values your inner world, not just your presence. Sometimes, his listening shows up in silence. He doesn't interrupt your stories, doesn't dominate the conversation, and doesn't try to impress you with his words. Instead, he lets you express yourself freely, because being near your thoughts feels better than being the center of attention. This is a rare kind of care, one rooted in empathy rather than ego. When a man listens more than he talks, he's letting you see the part of him that feels safe with you. His quiet attention says, "You matter here. Your voice matters to me." In those moments, his silence isn't empty. It's full of understanding, connection, and love he hasn't yet found the courage to speak. And when a man listens that deeply, it's no longer just a conversation. It's a heart quietly falling in love. His friends know about you before you do. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the most revealing clues often shows up long before he says a word. His friends already know about you. It slips out in casual ways. The way they tease him when you're around, the knowing smiles, the quiet looks they exchange when your name comes up. He might act surprised or deny it, but the truth is he's already talked about you, probably more than once. When men are emotionally drawn to someone, they often process their feelings through their social circle before admitting them directly. Psychologists call this emotional validation. It's the human need to confirm what we feel by sharing it with others we trust. He might bring you up in conversation without realizing how often he does. He'll mention something funny you said, a story you told, or how you reacted to something. To his friends, you become a recurring topic, even if he's not calling it love yet. His friends usually pick up on it faster than he does. They notice the way his tone changes when he talks about you, how his mood lifts when your name comes up. They might tease him with lines like, "So, how's she doing?" Or, "You're talking about her again." Sometimes they even know small details about you, your favorite cafe, your hobbies, the things that make you laugh, because he's already shared them. That's a clear sign you're living in his mind rent-free. You might also notice how his friends behave when they meet you. They're a little extra kind, slightly curious, or they watch your interactions closely. That's because they already know what he feels. In a way, they're silently rooting for him, or even for both of you. When a man's friends know about you before anything official happens, it's his heart's way of saying you're important enough to mention, even without a label. So if his friends seem to know who you are or smile knowingly when you walk in, take it as confirmation. He may be quiet about his feelings around you, but he's already said plenty when you weren't there. To his friends, you're not just someone he knows. You're the one he can't stop talking about, the one who's slowly becoming more than just a name in conversation, but someone who's taken root in his heart. He protects you in subtle ways when a man is quietly falling for you. One of the clearest and most meaningful signs is how he starts to protect you in small, almost invisible ways. He may not declare it openly or try to act like a hero, but his instincts begin to shift. Without even realizing it, he takes mental note of your comfort, your safety, and your emotions. His protection isn't loud, it's thoughtful, steady, and deeply human. Psychologists describe this as attachment-driven behavior, where emotional connection triggers a subconscious desire to care for and shield the person we value. You'll notice it in the little things. When you're walking together, he naturally positions himself on the side of the street closest to traffic. If you're in a crowded place, he makes sure you're not being pushed or bumped. When you talk about something stressful, his tone changes. He becomes calmer, gentler, reassuring. He might send a message just to check if you got home safely, or remind you to eat when you've had a long day. These aren't random gestures. They're quiet acts of love disguised as concern. This protective instinct isn't about dominance or control. It's about emotional investment. He's not trying to own your space. He's trying to guard your peace. Even when he can't fix your problems, he'll still stand beside you, offering quiet support. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing when you're uncomfortable in a situation and subtly stepping in to help, changing the topic, offering a distraction, or making sure you're okay. His actions communicate what words can't. You're safe with me. Protection in this context doesn't always mean physical safety. It often means emotional protection, the way he defends you in conversations, avoids making jokes that might hurt you, or shields your confidence when others might challenge it. He becomes more careful with his words around you, more mindful of how his actions might affect you. This gentle awareness is one of the most powerful indicators of genuine affection. When a man protects you in subtle ways, it shows that his feelings run deeper than attraction. He's not just drawn to you, he's connected to your well-being. His care is quiet, but it's consistent, and that consistency is love in its purest form, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, because it's already written in every small, protective act he makes without even thinking. He mirrors your actions without realizing it. When a man is falling for you silently, his body often gives away what his words try to hide. And one of the clearest signs of that is when he begins to mirror your actions without realizing it. You cross your arms and moments later, he does too. You lean forward during a conversation and he follows. You smile and almost instinctively he smiles back. It's not mimicry. It's connection. Psychologists call this mirroring, a subconscious behavior that happens when two people share emotional rapport or attraction. Mirroring is the body's way of saying, I feel what you feel. When someone likes you, their brain's mirror neurons activate, unconsciously copying your gestures, tone, or energy. It's an ancient human bonding mechanism that builds trust and closeness. So if you notice him adopting your speech patterns, mirroring your posture, or matching your pace when you walk together, it's not coincidence, it's chemistry in motion. You might also see this play out emotionally. When you laugh, he laughs, sometimes even before he knows why. When you're sad, his tone softens. He subtly adjusts to your mood without you asking. This shows emotional synchronization. He's attuned to your feelings, even the ones you don't verbalize. That's what happens when someone's heart starts to align with yours. Mirroring also extends beyond the physical. He might start picking up your favorite phrases, music styles, or even small habits. Maybe he begins to like your favorite cafe or uses a word you often say. These small echoes of you and his behavior are his unconscious way of staying connected. It's as if piece by piece his world starts blending with yours. When a man mirrors you, it's not about imitation, it's about intimacy. His mind is trying to build harmony without forcing it. It's his body's quiet confession that being in sync with you feels natural. So if you ever notice him matching your gestures, tone, or pace, don't dismiss it as coincidence. It's a silent sign that he's not just paying attention, he's emotionally aligned with you. And in love, that kind of alignment is one of the purest, most genuine forms of connection there is. He gets nervous. When you're around, when a man is secretly falling for you, one of the clearest signs is how he becomes a little nervous in your presence. It's not the uncomfortable kind of nervous. It's the kind that shows he cares about how he comes across to you. His confidence might slip for a moment. His words stumble or he laughs a bit too quickly. You may notice him fidgeting with his hands, adjusting his shirt, or running a hand through his hair. These aren't just random habits, they're signs of physiological arousal, the body's natural response to emotional excitement and attraction. Psychologists explain that when someone feels strong emotions, especially romantic ones, the brain releases adrenaline and dopamine. These chemicals increase the heart rate, quicken breathing, and make small movements harder to control. That's why he might seem calm around everyone else but suddenly self-conscious when you're near. His body is reacting to the emotional weight of your presence. You make his pulse quicken. And even if he tries to hide it, his nervous energy gives him away. You might notice he acts differently compared to how he does with others. Around you, he's more thoughtful, perhaps more careful with his words. He might pause before replying, trying to say the right thing. Sometimes he laughs at things that aren't particularly funny, just to ease the tension he feels inside. It's his way of masking nervous affection. And yet that nervousness is endearing. It's a sign that your opinion genuinely matters to him. There's also a softer side to his unease. When a man is falling for someone, his usual composure can fade because vulnerability replaces control. He's not nervous because he's unsure of himself. He's nervous because he doesn't want to risk saying or doing something that might ruin what he feels. That's the beauty of it. His hesitation, his stumbles, his quiet glances, they all stem from sincerity. So when you notice him fidgeting, stuttering slightly, or smiling shyly when you walk in, don't dismiss it as awkwardness. It's the visible tension of hidden affection. His nerves aren't weakness. They're proof that your presence affects him deeply. In a world where most emotions are carefully guarded, his nervousness is the one thing he can't control, and that makes it the truest sign of all. He supports you without seeking credit. When a man is falling for you in silence, one of the most powerful yet easily overlooked signs is how he supports you without ever asking for recognition. He may not shower you with grand gestures or dramatic words, but his quiet actions consistently make your life easier. He notices when you're overwhelmed, when you need help, or when you simply need someone to stand by you. And he steps in, not because he wants to impress you, but because he genuinely cares. Psychologists refer to this as altruistic affection, a form of love expressed through selfless acts of service rather than verbal declarations. You might notice he offers help before you even ask. Maybe he checks in before an important event, encourages you when you doubt yourself, or remembers small responsibilities you've mentioned in passing. He celebrates your wins quietly and feels your struggles deeply. Even when you don't notice what he's done, he doesn't mind. His satisfaction comes from seeing you succeed or feel supported. This is the kind of care that asks for nothing in return. His support often shows up in subtle emotional ways too. When you're stressed, he listens without interrupting. When you feel discouraged, he reminds you of your strengths. When others criticize you unfairly, he's the first to defend you. Sometimes with words, sometimes just with presence. That quiet loyalty speaks volumes. Psychologists say men who feel a strong emotional bond often express love through action-based empathy. They solve, protect, or provide stability for the person they care about, even if they never use the word love. The key difference between kindness and genuine affection is consistency. A man who's secretly in love doesn't help once to get attention. He does it repeatedly, naturally, almost instinctively. It's in the way he stays late to help you finish something, checks up on you after a bad day, or remembers your goals and pushes you gently toward them. When a man supports you without seeking credit, it means his affection runs deep. He's not motivated by praise, he's motivated by connection. His love shows in the quiet, reliable ways he's there for you when no one else notices. And often, that's the purest kind of love, the kind that doesn't need to be seen, only felt. He opens up about his fears and dreams. When a man begins to open up about his fears and dreams, It's one of the most intimate signs that he's falling for you. Most men are conditioned to stay composed, to appear strong, steady, and in control. So when he starts sharing what scares him, what drives him, or what he secretly hopes for in life, it means he feels a deep sense of emotional safety with you. He trusts you enough to let his guard down. That's not casual conversation. That's vulnerability. And vulnerability is the language of love. Psychologists call this emotional disclosure, a powerful indicator of genuine connection. It happens when someone begins to reveal the parts of themselves they usually keep hidden. For him, opening up about his insecurities or dreams isn't easy. It's a risk. But if he's letting you in, it's because you make him feel understood rather than judged. When he says things like, "I've never told anyone this before," or talks about moments of fear, failure, or hope, it's his way of saying, "You're not just someone I like. You're someone I trust with my truth." You'll notice these conversations often happen quietly, late at night, during a long drive, or after a deep talk. His voice softens, his tone slows, and for once he stops performing for the world. He's not trying to impress you. He's being real. When a man starts sharing his goals and fears, he's inviting you into the space between who he is and who he wants to become. That's sacred ground. And when he listens to your dreams too, encouraging you, remembering them, even aligning his plans with yours, it's no longer just affection. It's emotional partnership in its earliest form. That's the moment love begins to grow roots. When a man opens up about his fears and dreams, it means you've reached a part of him that very few people ever do. You're not just someone he's drawn to. You've become his emotional refuge, the person he feels safe enough to be unguarded with. And in love, that kind of trust isn't given lightly. It's earned. Heart first, word by word. And he looks at you like you're the only one in the world. When a man is truly falling for you, his eyes will reveal what his words can't. There's a certain way he looks at you, steady, soft and unguarded, as if the rest of the world fades for a moment and only you exist. It's not the fleeting glance of attraction. It's deeper, quieter, and filled with unspoken emotion. When he looks at you like that, he's not just seeing your face, he's seeing everything about you that he's come to admire. Trust and cherish. Psychologists call this kind of gaze-focused attention a nonverbal sign of emotional attachment. When someone's feelings are genuine, their eyes naturally linger longer, their pupils dilate slightly, and their expressions soften. It's the body's way of reflecting emotional intimacy. His gaze doesn't demand anything from you, it simply appreciates. It's steady, calm, and full of meaning, as though he's memorizing you in that moment without even realizing it. You'll notice that when he looks at you this way, he's not distracted. He's not checking his phone, glancing around, or trying to multitask. His attention anchors to you completely. It might happen in a quiet conversation, during laughter, or even in silence. Sometimes you'll catch him staring and he'll quickly look away, embarrassed to be caught. But that's often when the truth slips through the cracks of his composure. This look is powerful because it carries emotional honesty. It's how a man expresses feelings he's not ready to say aloud. His eyes communicate admiration, respect, and something far deeper, recognition. It's as if in that instant he's thinking, "You're it. You're the one." That kind of gaze can't be forced or faked. It only appears when the heart is truly involved.